G'day, this is Monaco and it's home to a staggering number of millionaires and billionaires. And come F1 Grand Prix week, that number rises dramatically. Just a few minutes in this tiny principality and you'll quickly see how unique and often bizarre this place can be. But is this lifestyle all it's cracked up to be? I'm about to find out. I'm going to live like an uber wealthy for my week here in Monaco. Gorgeous car. Now, casino is a big part of Monaco lifestyle. Let's go inside. Well, actually I can't take you in because they won't allow me to video. But I'm going to go and have a look and I'll report in just a moment. Well, I'm a bit lighter in the wallet, but inside it's interesting. It's a little oldie-worldy, and if you're used to Las Vegas type casinos, this is nothing like it. But still, it's worth a look. One of the greatest things you can do, and this is absolutely free, is to come up to the casino and watch the likes of these cars just come past one after the other. And to let you in on a secret, there is a guard just down the road there who determines which cars get to come up here. And if you don't have something special, or you're not staying at one of these hotels, you'll be turned away. Now I'm staying just down the road at the Fairmont, and then I moved to a ship. But if I was super uber wealthy, I'd probably be staying at the Hotel de Paris. Now rooms here during Grand Prix week are every bit of 10,000 euros a night for the main nights. If you can get a room. Restaurant downstairs, you'll be paying probably 30 euros for a soft drink and maybe 50 for a spirit. This is the Tuesday before the Grand Prix weekend, and as it stands now, it's quite quiet. The big money players haven't arrived into town as yet. They'll typically come on Friday, stay for Saturday and Sunday, and then jet out. But the reason this place is so popular, let's face it, is the fact that there's no tax. But it's a very clean place, well ordered, no real crime as far as I can tell, and is known worldwide as a haven for the rich and famous. The thing is, you won't find a greater concentration of supercars in any other country than you will find here in Monaco. And it's quite bizarre because the roads are tiny. You can't do more than 50 k's an hour, and a lot of the time cars are only driven for a few kilometres from an apartment to a restaurant. There's a lot of old money in Monaco, and when you look at the apartments, some of them to me look like they're from the 70s, maybe even the 60s. And then you get marvellous developments like this, which are absolutely stunning. And I can't even guess what these apartments would go for, but it's in the tens of millions of US dollars. Just about every high-end fashion brand is represented here with flagship stores in Monaco. You will not be finding any Uniqlo stores, but bizarrely, just over there is a Zara store. There's great attention to detail in the city, particularly in the shopping areas like this. Look at this beautiful artwork on the floor here. Of course, that's all paid for by the likes of Prada and Bulgari and Hermes. And of course, if they're paying for it, you're paying for it, the customer. What makes me laugh is you've got wealthy people having a lovely meal at the Café de Paris, but they're behind wire. Why? Well, this is all locked up come Grand Prix time. And this has been up for, I'm guessing, a month because we've had Formula E and we've had the historic Grand Prix. And those gates need to be locked so people can't get access to the track. Now you want to be eating at the best restaurants in Monaco, and there are so many to choose from. But my favourite? Le Môme. Amazing food, stunning views. It's not cheap, but there are plenty that are far more expensive than this one. Come join me for lunch. And we'll start it off with this. Such fresh flavours. I just like it that they do all the little things. The offering of the lime and lemon, the cutting of the thyme at the table. I don't get that too many restaurants. We've gone with a number of appetisers, some yellowtail, Wagyu beef, gorgeous salad, and of course, an ever-changing view. What about F1 drivers?
Leclerc, of course.
He comes here?
Yeah, with his dog and his lady.
What does he order?
What does he order? Oh my God, I think chicken Milanese.
Now, billionaires on their super yachts probably won't have track viewing, so they'll end up at places like the Paddock Club behind me, which are tens of thousands of dollars, but get you great views, particularly of Rascasse, and amazing food and beverages. I think I only know a couple of billionaires, but there's a fella on board Panakia who works with them every day of the week. Let's go and meet Jonny Dodge.
This is going to cost you about $250,000. Then you've got your berth on top. Then you've got all your catering, all the events for the weekend. So a client will come and book this. They'll need the jet over here. That's going to cost you another $150,000. If you're coming over from the US, that's each way. And then you've got all the parties you need to go to. So you've got Ramper at Lily's on Thursday night. You're going to be paying up to $50,000 a table. So you're not going to get in change for $1 million for the weekend.
This is absolute luxury, and bear in mind, a mooring for Grand Prix week in Monaco can cost upwards of $150,000 US. But you could have this stunning master suite on the Panakia for US $45K for the weekend. Dining table for 10, seating for probably more than 10, and a super luxurious bar. And if you really want to live like a billionaire in Monaco during Grand Prix week, it's mandatory to get yourself on a yacht like this. Of course, if your budget is more modest, but you still like to be on the water, you could see what's available in nearby Port Fontvieille, where a good number of Formula One drivers actually live. Wealthy people don't want to waste time, and often they'll be getting off their boats that are perhaps moored over the other side here, taking a water taxi or a tender to Port Fontvieille, pulling up just metres from a handful of restaurants which are world class. I want to show you one of those tenders right now. This craft, a Wire 38, is every bit a craft that a billionaire would be seen on, even millionaires. It's classy, it's quick, and you stand out in the harbour when you're on one of these. Let's head into port for lunch, hey? Oh, he's putting the foot down now. Whoa! Whoa! Thank you. Right. Well, there's a lot of billionaires and millionaires staying on these yachts out here today, and these have to take a tender like this in and out of port. Well, I'm very lucky not to have lost my phone, my hat and my sunglasses overboard. This went a lot quicker than I thought it would go. That's the stunning Explora cruise ship, which I'll show you a little bit later. Now, we've just been held up here because this yacht is heading out, which is unusual. Maybe they're repositioning. But along here are some of the greatest super yachts you'll see anywhere in the world, and in such a small space. Look, any one of these would be good for me. Although the cost of maintaining them is about 10% of the price of the vessel, sometimes 15%. And you'll see up here this yellow line of buoys that was put in yesterday, and that shows 2 distinct lanes for coming in and going out of the port. Now at this point, I imagine some of you are thinking this is all very fake, artificial, not real. But if you were given the opportunity to come on board one of these super yachts and enjoy the Monaco weekend, would you say yes or no? Because even if you didn't like motor racing, I think there'd be very few people who wouldn't take advantage of what this has to offer. And at this speed, it'd be very easy to just nod off to sleep. These €1 million tenders are perfect for billionaires, and there will be a few billionaires using this weekend to get onto this energy station. This is Mr. Arnaud's boat, the head of LVMH, and it is a magnificent vessel. But what about getting to Nice? Most billionaires will not be coming commercial. They'll be going private, and they'll be emerging from the private terminal, which is just a short walk from here. And they won't be getting from Nice to Monaco by car, they'll be going by copter. It's pretty cool just standing out here looking at planes coming and going, with no fence in between us. Will there be any billionaires on Explora too? Possibly. It's an all-suite ship that's perfectly positioned inside the harbour, a mere 4-minute walk to the track. So let me show you around. This is a Suite 7043, and it is something special. And my gosh, look at the view we have. Oh, that is something to die for. I've been on a few cruises in my time, mainly when I was younger. Anything quite like this. Let's have a look out here. And inside on the bench are these Steiner binoculars. And for small binoculars, they're bloody good. One thing to note, the minimum suite size is 35 square metres. That includes your balcony. That's big when it comes to a ship. And there are no inside cabins. Every cabin has a balcony. Well, I might be pretty happy. I'm up on the 14th deck at the Sky Bar, and I'm starting to think 5 days is not long enough on this ship. This is my first night. It's swish. Tell you what, I quite like this. beautiful jacuzzi overlooking Monaco Harbour. That's Monaco on a billionaire's budget. But of course, if you haven't got a billionaire's budget, you still love it, even if you stayed in Nice and trained in each day. I love it for the 1 week a year that I'm there. Now, for those of you who are not yet subscribed, I invite you to hit this button so you don't miss out on future travel videos, or at the very least, please give it a like. Thanks for watching.
And stay passionate.
Phenomenal.